Hello, in this video, I'll be talking about how you can implement your own custom calendars inside of Wiz that has dynamic data being populated using Wiz variables. So in order to do this, we need, of course, our Wiz, variables and whatnot, and obviously, behind that Wiz variables, you need your own back end solution. But in order to actually make the calendar and then populate, the calendar with your events, with your custom events within your backend, we need something called full calendar. Now there is a bunch of video out there that talks about full calendar, and even Alex from FinSuite, he did a video talking about how you can implement full calendars inside of Webflow, and he actually connected it to Webflow CMS. He showed you how you can go from scratch to finish on that particular video, which I will be linking in the description below for additional resources. But I have yet to seen any videos touching up on how you can build your own custom calendars. That's right, your own custom event calendars inside of Webflow and Wized, and I'm going to be showing you just that. So right now in this setup, I have a quick prototype that I have spin up before I actually push this to my production side, or should I say my MVP. I have this quick what do you call TypeScript file that does exactly what I wanted to do. So just going through it pretty briefly here, I essentially imported this plugin from Full Calendar, which you can install by running it in the terminal in your VS Code IDE. And furthermore, if you need more details on how you can implement this inside of FinSuite's developer starter, you can visit the Full Calendar video. That's one, and then I'll also be linking their GitHub page, and you can clone their repository into your own GitHub workspace, and then you can actually use this to prototype anything, not just Full Calendar. You can do it with Chart.js, which is what I did. You can do it with other external libraries as well. Testing out components from external JavaScript libraries and whatnot. This is a very, very great tool to do just that. So as I was saying, you first have to import the plugins from Full Calendar. Now, in this case, I'm using the ES6 build system, which is essentially, if I go to Full Calendar here, one sec, calendar.io, let me see here. So in the getting started page on Full Calendar, you have ES6 build system here, which is what I used. And then I just essentially ran a few texts inside of my terminal, which is pnpm add, and then copy paste this plugins inside of there, and then it will do its own thing. And then after I called that plugin, I can now initialize the code inside of my Webflow. So the neat thing about this, developer starter kit is that you can push this code inside of Webflow, and then it will automatically refresh whenever you make changes inside of your codes. So inside of this Webflow code that I have pushed into my Webflow site, I added an extra code here to initialize Wized. So as I was saying, you wanted to implement or call or initialize Wiz on the start of your code. What this does is essentially you can pull in, your variables and all those things, so that you can actually populate your calendar using your Wiz variables, which is a computed variable that is populated with the JSON that gets called from your backend, for example. Or for my case, I literally just hard coded it inside of my variable, and here. So it's essentially just a list with a bunch of objects, the objects representing each events. And yeah, so essentially from there, you want to essentially query the canvas which you will be rendering your calendar into. So if you go to the Webflow, editor, and then you can see here, I have a div block here that houses my calendar with an attribute of data element calendar. So I want to be essentially targeting that attribute, and then if that attribute doesn't exist, it will return. And then after I query that attribute, I essentially set the events variable for populating my calendar, and that events variable is essentially the Wized variable here, the Wized variable here, the events data variable. As you can see, the name is the same thing. Now, after I call, or I define, sorry, this events variable, now I want to essentially initialize my calendar with a bunch of options that full calendar has offered you. So, full calendar offers you a bunch of views. So, for example, here, you have your time grid, you have your list, you have your day grid, you have your month. Your month is your typical kind of calendar, right? It's essentially nothing special here. You can see this event, and that's all. And then day grid, time grid is the one I personally like the most. As you can see here, this is essentially the weekly view, and then this is the daily view for for the time grid view of the full calendar. And then you also have a bunch of other views as well, which I won't be getting into every single one, but essentially have a lot of views inside of your full calendar library. And then not only that, but you can also customize the heck out of that calendar. As you can see here, this is very much different than your typical full calendar demos. And if you, for example, go to the demo part of full calendar, where is it? Okay, let me just open this link in new tab. This is essentially the demo they gave you, which I think is an understatement, because again, you can customize the hell out of this thing using HTML embeds. If you see here, I have a embed called FC calendar embed, and then if you go into this embed, I essentially customize the root styles of the full calendar styling. And if you want to learn more about this whole thing, it is essentially just where is it again? I forgot. I think it's here. So essentially they have a GitHub page where you can see all the different variables that come into play whenever you call in your full calendar. You have your buttons, you have your your border colors and whatnot. So this is very much customizable. And then let's say your CSS variables here isn't being what do you call? It's not being showcased here. For example, in my case, there isn't a clear way to add paddings to your individual events. And what I did was I literally just queried the elements that I want to customize, and then I give the individual customized CSS attributes into that particular element. So the possibility here is really endless. You can literally do a lot of things here. Even the things that aren't meant to be customized, you can literally customize that. So this is very, very much cool that full calendar offers you. And then going back to this line of codes here in my IDE, or VS Code IDE, I define this new calendar component, and then I essentially specify the different plugins that I want to use for this calendar. In my case, I actually didn't have to use this list plugin, and as you can see here, my page just reloaded. I don't know if you can see, but earlier, whenever I make changes to the code, for example, let's actually do that once more here. You can see this refreshes for a split second. So this is the neat part about having developer starter, toolkit whenever you're developing or rapidly prototyping something inside of your Webflow project. So as you can see here, I didn't need to import the list plugin due to the fact that I don't use the Wized, sorry, the list plugin, which I can technically delete that and should be fine as well. So as you can see, there's nothing wrong because again, I didn't use the list view. And what the list view looks like, it's something like shit, yikes. One sec, let me actually see the list plugins. Where is it again? Docs, I think. Yeah, list. Oh yeah, here it is. So this is the list plugin. Essentially, this is like a rundown of your different events, on your different views. So you can have a list, a daily view of your rundown, your daily agendas and whatnot. You can have your monthly agendas for this particular month and all those things. So yeah, this is essentially just that, right? And then after I define that, plugin, the different plugins I want to use inside of my calendar, I can set the initial view. Now, I recommend you just copy paste. I believe full calendar actually, you know, what do you call here? Full calendar provides this right from the get-go, and you can literally just copy paste this and then mess with a few things with this. Like for example, instead of using let, you can use cons, which essentially means that in let, essentially you have the possibility of changing that particular defined variable, right? Whereas where you use cons, it's essentially a variable that you will never ever change, or a variable that will not be changed or tampered with otherwise. This creates a more, I guess, robust code, because again, there's no way of tampering with this variable. So I just use cons because again, I'm not even going to change anything here. And then after that, after you copy this over, you can literally just mess around according to your taste. Like for example, here I removed the list view. Here you have the list plugin and then list week, and instead of list week, I use day grid, time grid day. So sorry, time grid day. It's called time grid day. That's the plugin I use. So sorry, the view that I use. So yeah, that's essentially the possibility here is limitless. And then this events thing, it should be a list, as I said. It should be, one sec. You should defend. Sorry. You should what do you call, define the events as a list or an array, right? Where you have your different objects in there, if you want to hard code that. But in my case, I don't have to do that because I already defined my event variable as the Wiz variable inside of my Wiz project here. So it will auto populate based on this based on this value of this variable inside of my Wiz project. So yeah, the end product, this is what you get. So you can have, your calendars and whatnot. You can auto populate your calendars using your what do you call, your events that will be pulled in as a JSON. And then you can have your different views, customizable to your liking, of course. And then you can even customize the buttons. Like for example, here I'll actually quickly demonstrate what I mean by customizing the heck out of this thing. Let's say I just for example, I just do this, right? And then I publish this, and let's see the difference. The amount of difference you will see is crazy, right? So let's actually see this. This is the site as is, right, with my styling. Look at this. This is the amount of customizability that you get it's absolutely mind-boggling actually to think about. Like, okay, sure, I populated the data here using my Wized variables, right? This is all dynamic, but my gosh, you should look at the difference in the amount of stylings, and let's see again in to have a before after effect. So I'm publishing my custom styles, and then voila, this is what you see. You literally get this different style that's way better than what you seen earlier. And yeah, this is all customizable to your project. You know, you can define the colors using your project's variable inside of Webflow. You can do that. You can do a lot of things that not a lot of people have talked about. And this is literally just a surface, because you can have other features as well, where you can do a bunch of different things from here that are very sick. And yeah, I thought I'd share this with you guys, because I'm really excited with this particular feature. And yeah, if you like this video, do comment on it. Tell me if you have any issues and whatnot. I'll be sure to try my best to respond to your comments and all those things. And if you feel like you want to ask questions on the daily, you can feel free to join the Discord server that I have already set up, which you can access through my bio inside of my channel. So yeah, it's been nice talking about this whole feature. I'll definitely link all the necessary links, like the GitHub repo for the developer starter kit. I'll also link, the full calendar page, so you can understand a few things there. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Peace.